In just 1 week, they had turned the fields into a living hell, charging in broad daylight with an ever-growing horde, gnawing away at every shred of hope like starving phantoms. The farmers, devastated, their hands trembling, no longer dared to sow new seeds, the pain of loss still raw and unhealed. Now Thomas and his hunting team, warriors scarred by the past, devise a cunning ambush, using the familiar terrain and the beast's worn trails to reclaim their right to live. But this was no ordinary hunt. It was a desperate struggle to reclaim the land soaked with their ancestors' sweat. Would pain and courage be enough to stop the nightmare? The answer lay in the trembling pull of a trigger. At dawn, as the sky burned red, the team slipped quietly into the ruined fields, where memories of golden harvests had turned to ashes. The hounds were released, their noses catching the scent of the enemy, their barks echoing like the cries of tortured earth. Thomas gripped his rifle tight, his vision blurred by memories of his family's hunger, bracing himself against the coming storm. Oh God, a massive wild boar, its fangs and claws glinting, charged like nature's own fury. Without hesitation, the rifle thundered. Each precise shot, like a final prayer, tore through the beast. It collapsed, blood spilling wide, a tear-stained victory, a testament to the unbreakable brotherhood among them. Pushing deeper into the heart of the fields, Thomas swept his gaze across the ruins, sorrow rising as he remembered the harvest forever lost. A looming shadow gnawed at the remnants of a dream. Thomas clenched his teeth, found the perfect position, and took aim. In a blink, the trigger tightened. A single bullet dropped the beast, its dying groan echoing like a mournful lament. A strike born of pain, saving a glimmer of light for his homeland. At the western edge of the field, the monster's shadow emerged, ready to unleash more torment. But today, fate turned. Jay, his heart burning with rage over the loss of his home, lay in wait. Gunfire rained down, each shot striking true. The beast thrashed, then fell still forever. One life traded for peace, one pain exchanged for hope. As darkness swallowed the land, the real hunt ignited. At 7 p.m., Thomas's team took their positions. the heavy night pressing down like fear itself. Infrared scopes flared, revealing a chilling sight. A herd of wild boars feeding carelessly amid the wasteland they had wrought. Thomas locked on, his hands trembling at the thought of his children waiting. Yet his trigger pull was steady. The rifle tore through the night, chaos erupting. The herd shattered, leaving their kin behind in a sea of blood. A haunting loss for their kind. Deep into the heart of it, their footsteps grew heavy, each sound an echo of dread. Suddenly, a rustling broke out, like sharp blades gnawing at what little remained. Bullets tore through the dark, striking true. The beast collapsed in its lonely shadow. A tragic fate for the destroyer, yet necessary for life to endure. The signal blared, a warning that another horde of beasts was gathering, ready to swallow everything whole. Through the infrared scope, Thomas saw it, not just one, but an entire pack, a living nightmare. Everything was in range. Gunfire erupted like thunder, leaving no room to breathe. In the blink of an eye, the field was littered with bodies, the threat obliterated. Yet what price did their souls have to pay? But the beasts were far from wiped out. As the darkness lifted, damage reports poured in from across the region. Rice fields torn apart, disease looming, millions of dollars lost. The authorities had no choice left. They decided to unleash the final measure, control from the skies. And so Thomas and his team boarded the helicopter, carrying both hope and sorrow, diving into the battle above the skies of France. Rotor blades shredded the air, infrared beams swept across the ravaged fields. Below, the shadows of wild boars scattered, like raiders reveling in the ashes. Thomas tightened his seatbelt, heart pounding. He knew this was no longer a hunt, but a battle for survival. A burst of gunfire rained down from the helicopter, flames flashing like the lightning of fate. The first beast collapsed, blood splattering across the barren ground. But the herd didn't break. They scattered wildly, their cries echoing across the fields. The helicopter tilted. James braced the heavy gun, locking on his target. With fury burning in his eyes, he pulled the trigger. The bullet pierced straight through the heart of the destroyer of countless harvest dreams. It crumbled, its final groan lingering in the air like a curse. One helicopter after another swept low, unleashing fire across the forest. Flares tore through the night, revealing a haunting sight. Dozens of beasts sprinting, yet none escaping the crosshairs. Gunfire roared in relentless bursts, earth and stone erupting as bodies fell, shadows crumbling one by one. Thomas held his breath, vision blurring. Every shot carved a new scar into his soul. He thought of his family, of dinners where no grain remained. And now each fallen boar was a debt repaid in blood. A giant burst out of the brush, its blood-red eyes defying the sky itself. The pilot dropped lower. Thomas clenched his teeth, locking it in through the scope. The blast ripped the air. The beast was hurled back, collapsing into the swamp. Victory came, yet choked with sorrow, for every fallen life left behind a memory that would never fade. Night ended, and the field sank into a deadly silence. Bodies lay scattered under the moonlight. The helicopter made its final pass, casting light over land once golden with harvest, now drenched in blood. Peace had returned, for now, but the darkness inside them would never fade away. The battle had quieted, but the farmers' hearts still bled. The carcasses lying there were not just the end of a night of horror, but a reminder. The war between man and nature has never truly ended. Tomorrow, will that darkness return in another land to sow more loss and sorrow?